Right, guys, don't worry about football debates. Okay, the video is starting. It's starting now. So, okay, how did World War One end? Why is this important for your course? Okay, so to begin with, Germany almost wins World War One in the 1918 Spring Offensive. Why is this? Well, in 1917, Russia has a revolution and they negotiate a peace. Okay, and that means all those German soldiers on that front. Yes, Anthony.
Don't they both make the same mistake in World War II? Like made the same mistake, but they tried to fight both.
Fighting on two fronts.
Yeah, they tried
yes.
to both.
That's a very good question. That is a mistake that Germany makes, and one they should have wished to avoid. But when Russia surrenders, Germany can take all their troops from that eastern front and focus on the western front. And they have a spring offensive in 1918. It's called that because it happens during the spring. And they almost win. Okay, so in the German psychology of the soldiers, they think that their defeat later on is like defeat from the jaws of victory. It's very sickening for them, especially when you think 2 million died, okay, and how many casualties there were as well. You can understand in the German psychology why they felt so aggrieved. Right, but they failed to win in that spring offensive. And the Americans come in the summer, and they have colossal manpower, tremendous manpower. And actually, an interesting tangent is that you have the Harlem Hellfighters come in, okay? And this is the first American black regiment that fights in World War One, and they're very successful. Okay. Now the British naval blockade has a debatable impact. Some historians think it's very important, and some do not. But I do know that it caused a supply chain issue with food in Germany, leading to 750,000 Germans starving to death. Some historians say it was just inefficient German farming. Some historians say that actually, no, that British naval blockade was really important. All right. And Britain was a naval power. Okay, it's how Britain had developed its global empire. So this navy was what made Britain powerful. So they were using it to their full effect, apparently there. Now, this naval blockade would be in place until the conclusion of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. So even after Germany had basically surrendered with the armistice in 1918, it continued for another year. Now, this really irritated the Germans because they weren't eating enough food. Now, I don't know about you. I like my food. I can't imagine not eating enough food for years in a row, okay? It would really get on my nerves. Now, at the same time, in Germany, on the home front, Marxist leaders of Jewish origin, okay, and this is how Hitler would create his conspiracy theories about Jews, they begin to campaign for an end of the war. Because in 1917, in Russia, Vladimir Lenin's had a revolution. Peace, land, and bread. And they want a bit of peace, and they want a bit of land, and they want a bit of bread in Germany as well. Sounds quite good to me, yeah? Better than war, no land, and no food. Okay? All right. So, it's good to get the bread up, indeed. So, on the 3rd of November, the Kiel Mutiny showed that German sailors had given up on the war effort. So, the German Navy says, look, basically, we know we've lost World War One, but you know what? Let's go and fight that British Navy. Even if we all die, let's just do it. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's a suicide charge. Let's get the British. And the German sailors, the rank and file, like, no, I like living. Living's quite nice. I'll forgo the whole, kamikaze attack style death. So they don't want to die. So they have a Kiel Mutiny. They literally refuse to obey their officers' instructions. Sounds like a Marxist revolution's brewing, guys. Now, the Kaiser abdicates on the 9th of November. This, again, shows that he's very scared. What's he scared of? Probably a Marxist revolution. He thinks he could die. What's happened in Russia? Well, we know what's happened in Russia. There's been a revolution. We know that the Romanov family were executed. Now, this leads to a handover of power, and this is very, very delicate. Now, Scheidemann and Ebert, who becomes the first leader of the Weimar Republic, do a deal. And the deal is to keep communists out of the government. And this has a tremendous impact for later on. Because Ebert is actually left-wing, but he's a moderate. He's not an extreme Marxist. He's a moderate, like the Labour Party today. Okay, the Labour Party today is a left-wing party, but it's not a communist party. Okay, so they do a deal to keep the Marxists out of the government. Now, later on, the Marxists and the SPD, the moderate left, they won't work together to defeat Hitler. It stems back to this. Okay. Now, the German soldiers are confused. How did we lose? We were 50 miles from Paris back here. Okay, how did we lose this war? This doesn't make sense. You know what? We were betrayed. It's all this going on here. It's all these communists ruining our country. Strikes, yeah, trying to campaign for peace. We were stabbed in the back. We were stabbed in the back by the Jews and the communists. They're the ones that ruined the war effort for us. Remember, these guys are patriotic. They've gone to fight for their country, okay? So they can't really connect with what's going on the home front so much. So they blame the Jews and communists and November criminals with the Dolchos legend. So this Dolchstoss is an anti-Semitic theory that the Jews stabbed the German nation in the back. Okay, and therefore that's why Germany lost World War One. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop recording there. So we got to answer 10 questions.